Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach and today I am driving a 2017 Mazda 3. Up front is a 2.0 liter inline 4 and down below is a 6-speed automatic transmission. Now, this is going to be a little bit different of a review than what I've done in the past. Normally, I give you a full interior and exterior overview of the car. I've already done that for this generation of Mazda 3, and so I'll leave that link at the end of the video if you want to know what a totally stock, normal Mazda 3 hatch from this generation is going to be like. But this car is different. This car is owned by my friend Jamie, and he's done a lot of bolt-on modifications to make this car handle a lot better than stock. So those modifications are as follows: Koni Sport yellows all the way around, Cork Sport 2-inch lowering springs, Cork Sport rear sway bar, solid rear motor mount, and air intake. Those are from Cork Sport. Cork Sport 65mm catback exhaust, Momo Revenge 16x7 wheels, Dunlop Direza DZ 102 tires at all four corners, and Basin MS style front lip, side skirts, and diffuser. That's not really all that important, but what is important is the sway bars, the springs, and the tires. But we're on some curvy roads today, and so we're gonna see what a bolt-on modification Mazda 3 hatch drives like. But before we do so, I'll do a quick run through of the interior. So this is a Mazda 3 Sport, which would have been the base model. So I have smaller, unimpressive gauges. I do have cruise control, which is nice, and I do have the horrible, terrible, worst in the world Mazda infotainment center right in the center, which you guys know I really don't like it. Like I said, it is a 6-speed automatic, has the pretty standard Mazda shifter. So let's get back to the driving portion. Now, Mazda 3s normally aren't a car you would consider for modification. You know, you think of like a Focus ST or a Veloster Turbo. This is a pretty unimpressive car from the factory, but I'm excited to actually get this out on some curvy roads and see how it really handles. What's interesting is that just through the suspension and sway bars, you really start to feel the Mazda 3 start to corner a lot flatter. It doesn't twitch. It doesn't sort of feel like you're really stretching it when you go into the corners. And that's what you want. What you want out of a car, performance-wise, is predictability. And this is very, very predictable now. And so we have some nice turns up here. See right into it. Easy. So we have a big right-hander here coming around nice and flat. It does still have a little bit of body roll. I mean, this is a hatchback. You're going to have to live with a little bit of body roll. However, from driving a stock car to this is a big, big difference. Just some basic bolt-on stuff can really improve the chassis of a car. I mean, it really, really is impressive. And from the stuff that I listed, a lot of the parts that Jamie has put on this car are Cork Sport parts. Now, Cork Sport has been in the Mazda game for years and years and years. I originally drove a first generation Mazda Speed 3 with a Cork Sport exhaust and Cork Sport lowering springs, and I loved it. Cork Sport makes really good stuff. So if you're interested in modifying your Mazda 3, I would highly recommend going with Cork Sport and Koni for those parts. Now, the 2-liter inline 4 isn't the most fire-breathing engine there is. It's really a variant of the ND1 motor that was put in the first half of the 4th gen Mazda Miatas. So it doesn't make a whole lot of horsepower. I'll put it up on the screen here. It's nothing really crazy. But once you actually throw some solid suspension at it, it really starts to get interesting. I genuinely like driving this car. It feels good. It feels solid, and like I said earlier, the biggest thing for me is that the more and more I drive it, the more and more predictable it's becoming. I really do feel confident putting this into a corner. Like I said, I'm still gonna have some body roll, and honestly, I think my next upgrade for this car would be bigger brakes or steel brake lines, better brake pads. Honestly, you don't really need bigger brakes on a street car, but better street pads, probably some Hawks Plus, something like that to really give you the confidence to slow down before a corner. That's really the last thing I would do to this car. Other than that, besides power modifications, this chassis is really, really good. This car does have sport mode, and you can plus minus it if you'd like, so you could really rev out the engine and get all that power out of it. Not that it's a whole lot, but you know, you can get all of it at least. And I really do like the sound of the exhaust. You know, I don't think it's too loud. I don't think it's really raspy. I'm cruising right now. I always yell. I'm Italian. What can you expect? But just talking like right now, I don't have to raise my voice to have a conversation with the camera. I can just have a conversation. It's not that loud, and I love it. Cold starts are a little bit noisy, but I mean, it is what it is. It's a cold start on an aftermarket exhaust. We'll see if we can get some audio. Probably not a whole lot, honestly. The wind noise was probably overbearing, but I like that about the exhaust. It's not too loud. The tires are very sticky. I do have a lot of confidence in these Durezas. I think they feel good. However, I can't really give my full opinions on them because I haven't driven this car in the rain. I haven't driven this car on a really cold day. I haven't driven this car on a really hot day, even though it's actually almost 90 degrees. So a pretty hot day. I'll give myself that at least. And so I can't really do a full tire review just because I don't know all the characteristics of it. But 86 degrees in the Midwest, decent humidity, they stick really, really well. One upgrade I would suggest if you do want to build a more curvy road vehicle is better seats. Like I said, this is the sport trim, and so these seats are pretty basic. And so maybe seats with a little bit higher bolsters would be nice for sure. One downside to the solid motor mount, unfortunately, is the fact that when the AC is on, you get quite the rattle at idle because it's a solid motor mount. Motor mounts are normally made of this sort of rubber, sort of to soak up the vibrations, but it feels a little bit sloppier. This feels tight, but you get those tight vibrations. So pick your poison at that point, I guess. And so overall, would I do this to my Mazda 3? And yes, I would, because here's the biggest thing. The biggest and most interesting thing to me is that these modifications, especially the suspension, I'm really thinking about the suspension. I don't really care about the cold air intake or the exhaust or whatever. The actual suspension rides fairly normal. It stays stiff in the corners, but while driving it right now, I don't feel like I'm about to lose my lunch. I don't want to throw up because of how bumpy it is. It's not bumpy in here. Look at me right now. The ride is great, and that's hard to show off on Illinois roads. That's very hard to show off. Cork Sport, I mean, really, this is just a Cork Sport review. Cork Sport makes fantastic products. I don't feel like my back is gonna get broken. This is a very easy, dailyable vehicle with these said modifications. Are they the craziest modifications in the world? No. But they're still very good modifications. And honestly, if you have a Mazda 3 and want to get a little bit more out of it, have a little bit more fun in the corners, please look into a rear sway bar. Please look into the Coney yellows. Please look into better tires and brakes, because really you can turn a decent daily driver into a decent daily driver and a fun car in the corners. I really am having fun. This is a fun car. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this slightly quicker review of a bolt-on Mazda 3 hatchback. Thank you so much to Jamie for letting me take this car out. I really had a blast with this, and this really did open my eyes to just simple modifications can do so much. I mean, really, this is a thoroughly good car. I would love to take this down a curvy road after work. It's exactly what this is for, and that's exactly what it does, and I absolutely love it. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.